Okay. Just if you need to prop it up or whatever, use your
stuff.
Okay. All right. I'm going to keep my jacket on. All right. So how far along is everybody? Did you all start together, like on the same day? No. So who's been here the least amount of time? Yeah. This guy. How long y'all been here?
First week.
First week. So this is day 3.
Oh.
Yeah. Day 3. Okay. Week 2 or 3. 3. So yeah, we got a little mix of everybody here. Okay. All right. Well, that's nice. Well, first things first. My name's Jason. I'm the Driver Employment Center Manager at Rail Transport. So any questions you have today, I am your one-stop shop for that. So congratulations on going to school. I think that's a big achievement just to come to school. I think that's a great thing. Any of you you've had jobs before, right? Anybody been unemployed before? Unemployed recently, right? All that kind of stuff. Starting a career in this industry, those things are in the past. You've got job security. You'll embark upon a career now, and an in-demand career where doors are really going to start to open for you, and things are going to start to happen. And that goes with finances too. I'll talk to you about how to pick your carrier, but when you're doing that, you're going to be interested in how much they're going to pay you. And financial stability in this industry is solid, definitely solid. So one of the reasons I'm in it. So I've worked at rail for a little less than 8 years now. Done just about everything except drive the truck. Although I have driven the truck in the back 40, they just don't let me on the public roadways with it. So I can appreciate that. Rail's been in business for about 53 years now. 53 years ago, our founder and still current owner, Everett Rail, had this wild and crazy idea that he wanted to be a truck driver. And so that's what happened here recently and a little more in the past. You all had this wild and crazy idea that you wanted to be a truck driver. Well, it's going to work out. And here's how it worked out for Everett. Everett started hauling lumber in central Wisconsin, just about 3 hours due east of here. And he would pick up a load of lumber in central Wisconsin. He'd deliver it down to Chicago. His wife, Dolores, was his dispatcher. So she'd be on the phone while he was on his way down to Chicago, find him a load of lumber or maybe some steel at the mills down there, and come back up to central Wisconsin. So he started doing that. Worked out real well for him the first year. That's what happened. Hired a few of his friends to come help him when he got too busy, when he started making his customer connections. And then Dolores got too busy dispatching all those guys, so hired some more dispatchers, friends of friends, and so on and so on. Started working for the company. That brings us to where we are today. We've got about 2,100 drivers, and we haul freight in all 48 states and Canada. We have 2,600 employees nationwide, so non-drivers, people like me and Alice, doing this kind of job. We've got our headquarters in Marshfield, Wisconsin. So like I said, just about 3 hours due east of here. Home to the world's largest round barn, and so if you're curious about Marshfield, you can go check that out later. Maybe you shouldn't. Anyway, headquarters and main terminals there. Terminal locations in Appleton, Wisconsin, Iron Mountain, Michigan, Atlanta, Dallas, Phoenix, and Los Angeles. So we've pretty much got the whole country covered there. Our Gary terminal, for example, just last year, south of Chicago there, we invested $7.3 million into that terminal. So it's a real nice place. We're a growing company, a financially sound company, and definitely a company on the move as far as that's concerned. We're hauling freight, like I said, in all 48 states and Canada, and we're doing that with 3 or 4 trailer types: a van, flatbed, refrigerated, and then sometimes a curtain side trailer. So in the flatbed department, and then we also do heavy haul and specialized stuff with those folks too. So all of those opportunities are available to you right out of school. As a matter of fact, my goal here, the whole reason I came here today, is to make sure that everybody here fills out an application at Rail Transport. Get yourself in the mix. We may not choose you, you may not choose us. Either way, we'll still be friendly. We'll still say hi down at the truck stop when we see you. All right, but get your name in the mix. Some industry advice I'll give you throughout the day today, or throughout my time here, is get as many applications out as early as possible. So for you guys, now is good, and now is good if you haven't already. And that way, within a week or so, you get it narrowed down to 3 companies, maybe 2 or 3 companies that you really, that you think you can live with, and then make your decision from there. And we'll help you through that, and I'll help you through that, giving you some industry knowledge today, as well as some information about rail transport. Okay, so with that being said, do we have any markers?
In his desk, top drawer, left.
You're not setting me up here, right?
No.
He didn't look me in the eye when he said that.
Yeah, you get to open it.
Oh, yeah, sure enough. Okay, there we go. Okay, so my goal is for you to fill out the application. I think we get to that goal by making sure that I answer any questions that you have about rail transport. So what's something important that you need to know before you fill out the application? Before you decide to put 10 or 15 minutes investment into that?
What type of per diems you guys offer?
Per diem, okay, good. So per diem and pay?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, both. Everybody know what per diem is? So per diem is a rate in addition to your normal mileage rate that you might choose if you wanted to have more money while you're on the road to buy food and other supplies, and then you use that money to the end of the year on your tax return. So the government lets you take more money up front, and then you balance it out at the end of the year, right? That's per diem, okay, good. I'll probably have to take a look at the pay chart for that, but I think it's 10 cents? I think it's 10 cents though. Okay, good though. Thank you for that one. Black may be no good here. All right, so I'm just making some notes here so I make sure to talk about it. So we'll talk about money. What else is important? What else do you think you should know about before you decide what company to work for?
You guys have no terminals here though?
We do lease a yard in South St. Paul. So how that would work, I'll fast forward to that and we'll loop back to it. You could drive your personal vehicle over to South St. Paul, where you park your truck, and then drive your truck out from there, leave your car in our secured lot over there, and then come back and park it when you're done. So is that kind of what you're talking about? Yeah, so you could do that. Okay, so I talked about terminals. What else? What else should we talk about?
Benefits.
Benefits, okay. Benefits is a good one. All right, what else? Let's take a couple more.
New employee training.
Yeah, excellent. So training.
Tuition reimbursement.
Good. Can I add that to benefits? Is that okay? Yeah, okay. Yeah, thank you for that one. Training, that's a good one. Make sure you ask recruiters when they come through about training. That's a big deal. I know a couple companies that when you show up, you'll do your I-9 and your W-4, and then the next day they toss you the keys. Good one. Okay, so make sure you know about that. All right, one more. What else might be important to you? Anybody want to come home every now and then after they're driving? We kind of mentioned
Without
that.
advancements.
Yeah, this guy here, he's on fire. Yep. So let's talk about we'll talk about a career path. Is that all right? And then let's make sure to talk about home time, because you might want to come home every now and then. Although every so often, Alice and I will talk to a group, and there's one guy, and I just want to drive all the time. Just send me out for 2 months at a time. I don't care. So, and if that's you, we can help you with that too. So, okay. So we'll start with this list here, and if something else comes up during, just ask me, and I'll answer it, or I'll make a note and I'll come back to it later.
How's your guys' dedicated lines work?
Yeah. Good. So we'll do fleet options and home time kind of together, if that's all right. Yeah, because they kind of match sometimes. Okay, so we'll talk a little bit about pay. Let me make a couple notes here on the top. So I mentioned my goal here today, traveled all this way to make sure that you fill out the application. Mike and Lisa and Gary, they've got paper applications, should you need it, or you can go to rail.jobs. Our website, and there's also information on how to get there. There's that QR code and some other stuff on your brochure. You can apply right online there. Just click the button and off you go. So rail.jobs. I'll give you a phone number here too. I know Alice handed out some cards. There's a phone number to call. And then anybody ever heard of YouTube? Yes. It's this very serious website, and all they want to, something everybody should spend an hour a day staring at YouTube, right? There's a lot of nonsense on YouTube. I'm going to tell you about our site though, real quick. Okay, so it's youtube.com/user/the Rail Network. The reason I'm telling you this, before we get into some of these other things, we've got a few dozen videos on there, and all the videos are about is what it is to be a professional driver at rail transport. So it's all the behind-the-scenes stuff, all that different things that we have going on with our different fleets. You can go check that. You'll have information about orientation and training there, including what a pre-work screen is. So here's some industry knowledge, right? When you go to your carrier, one of the first things you're going to do is do an agility test or a pre-work screen. That carrier wants to know that you can do some simple tasks like crouching under a trailer, climbing in and out of the tractor, and lifting a duffel bag above your head and putting it up here like that. We have a video that shows exactly what our pre-work screen is. It shows you step by step what you need to do. It's 2.5 minutes long, so I recommend that you look at some of those things when you're checking out your other carriers, just to make sure that what you're getting into. And like I said, we're going to crack the code for you. We'll just show it all to you right up front, and you can decide from there if that fits what you're looking for. Okay.
What's the part about veterans here?
Yeah. Excellent. So let's we'll add that to benefits. Thank you. Yeah, we got a really sweet veteran program. How many vets in the room? Yeah. Thank you guys for your service. I appreciate that. Okay. All right. So we'll talk about pay. Like I said, we have a few different trailer types that you have to choose from, and these are your choices right out of school. All right. So you choose. Alice is going to get you set up for orientation, and she's going to get you your fleet choice, and off you go. It's up to you, whatever you want to do. Write it down over here. All right, so I'm going to show you some national jobs first. National is out 11 days and home for 3. That's the minimum. You can stay out longer and achieve more home time. Up to 30 days, get you 7 days off. All right, but we'll start with this. You're out 11 days, home for 3. That's the minimum. All right, pulling a van trailer. And these are average weekly pays. Look at that, Alice. I got that sucker memorized there. From time to time, I might look at my phone or my computer. I'm looking at the website, rail.jobs, if I do that, so just so you know. Okay, so van, out 11 days, home for 3. These are folks that have 6 months experience that are working for us. All right, they're doing the job right now. So van drivers are averaging 936, refrigerated 1,086, and flatbed 1,025. Your choice, you pick. What do you want to make? I might tell you about 1 or 2 more jobs. Anybody want to hear about any jobs that pay less than that? No? We're good with those? Okay, good. I was going to have to question your sanity if you want to hear about jobs that pay lower than that. Okay, so does that make sense? Any questions on that? No? Yeah, pretty sweet deal. This is all no-touch freight. Make sure you guys ask your recruiters about that when they're up here. And do I have to load or unload that trailer? Because that could be a big deal.
Even your flatbeds?
So the flatbed, the customer will load it for you. You are responsible for putting the tarp on or off if they require it, or putting a strap on or off if they require that. You do get paid for tarp on and tarp off at $22 each time you put that tarp on or take the tarp off. Okay. And that all goes into that average pay. That's already calculated in there. Yeah, good question on that though. Yeah, but especially for the van or refrigerated, we've got a really nice network of customers across the country where we have trailers located at those customers, and most of those trailers are already loaded by the time that you get there. So you're going to drop and hook. You guys heard about drop and hook? Probably maybe not on this side yet. So you pull in there, they'll tell you, yep, park your loaded one over there, you'll drop it over there, and then pick up your next loaded one over here, and then off you go. It's a really sweet operation. Okay, so that's paid for that. Again, here's the website I'm looking at here, rail.jobs. Everything I'm telling you today is all on the website. All right, all those jobs right on there, average pay right on there. The home time is on there too. All right, so out 11, home for 3. So here's how this works. So you're at home today, and tomorrow is the day that you need to leave. You're going to call your fleet manager and say, yep, I'm ready to go. And your fleet manager is going to ask you 2 questions. How long do you want to be out? And where's home going to be when you're done? You answer those questions, you show up for work tomorrow, and off you go. All right, so you're going to say, if this is your choice, you're going to say at least 11 or more days than that, and you're going to tell them your home time. Here's what's cool about that. Maybe you've got a cousin in Phoenix or in Orlando or someplace you want to stay that's south at this time of year. Tell your fleet manager I want to end my week down there. And they'll make sure you get routed and end your week down in those locations. Okay? So take advantage of it if you want. We'll come back here and shovel the snow. It's up to you. Whatever you want to do. Okay? Good with that. And from time to time, folks will take a picture of what I write down. So if anybody wants to take a picture, they can. Otherwise, let me erase it so we can go on to some other stuff. Good? Okay. Here's what we got there. So we'll make our little side list over here for home time. All right, so 11-3. That's national. We've got another very exciting opportunity here. Alice, I even dare to write this on here. Monday through Friday, okay? This is the option there, Monday through Friday. So if you like to hang out with people during the weekend and want to continue that kind of lifestyle, here's your opportunity for that. Monday through Friday is flatbed. And it's hauling freight from Minneapolis to Chicago. Back and forth you go. Start your week right here, either at the yard if you find a place to park that truck and trailer at home. Monday morning, you'll go to your shipper, you'll load up, and you'll head down to Chicago. You get to Chicago, take that tarp off, customer will load it for you, go to your next pickup place, they'll load the trailer, put the tarp back on, come back up to the Minneapolis area. You're almost always going to load at Wrexham in downtown Minneapolis. That's a steel plant there. You know where that is? Yeah. Almost always going to load there, and then in Chicago, you could take it to different places. Could be different construction sites or different places that steel is needed. All right, that's how it works. Tarp on, tarp off, drive from here to Chicago and back. All right, Monday through Friday, so you'll come back Friday night, park your truck. Folks are averaging $950 a week gross on that. Maybe that's the best fit for you. All right, again, my goal here is to make sure that you fill out the application.
Are you home every day from that one, or
So here's how it works. Sometimes no, it's 420 miles between here and Chicago to the most of the places. There will be times where you'll be in between because of hours of service. You guys might not have heard of hours of service or understand what that is, right? You only drive 11 hours during the day and you got to shut it down until you kind of break at night. So you could get caught halfway or something like that. The trick is if you happen to get back to Minneapolis or in this area, and you want to crash at home, that's fine. You can do that. Find a safe place for your truck to park, go home for the night. It just may not happen that often just because of how the timing and miles can line up.
you're all sleeper cabs then?
All sleeper cabs. Yep, all sleeper cabs. The only trick to that is make your pickup and delivery on time. If you don't do that, then you may jeopardize what that advantage could be. Okay. All right, so I gave you 4 options, right? National for van, reefer, and flatbed, and then a Monday through Friday flatbed.
Is that open to people that are out of school?
Every single one. Every single one. Yep, absolutely. So, do you want to hear about any other fleets, or are those 4? You can make a good choice between those 4.
That's
Okay. He says good. You good? Yeah.
Well, how many notes can you take?
Probably 4. Probably 4. Yeah. Just the way the miles will line up and all that kind of stuff. You could luck into a 5. You might get a 3, something like that, right? That's why I put average pay on there. Could there be a week that you do better than that? Yeah, you could do over $1,000 a week. Could there be a week you get 800 on it? Could.
that
Yep.
one paid by the
That's
mile.
trucking, right? It is paid by the mile. Yep, it is paid. If anybody wants to, after I'm done, I can show you how the cent per mile breaks down. My advice to you is most of us are used to weekly pay. You pay your bills in a weekly or monthly manner. Make sure your recruiters are telling you what averages are. Make sure to tell you what the real pay is. Because I can tell you right now, I'll pay you all $10 a mile. We all walk out of here. You apply, I take you down to orientation and training. Oh, and by the way, you get 10 miles a week. Right? So you got to think about that. Know that there's some variability to these things. And that's why I'm giving you averages of folks that are doing this at that 6-month mark right now. I think that's most real to what's going on. Okay? Yeah.
When you say you take some of the materials, metal, whatever, to construction sites.
Yeah.
Sometimes I've been on a lot of construction sites, and sometimes these guys aren't ready for it. they're not ready for even 3 or 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that cuts into your day.
Yeah.
Is there hourly pay after a certain amount of time that
Yep.
applies to your?
Yep,
Okay.
yep, after 2 hours, your hourly pay kicks in from that point. Now, we've been doing this for a while. We've got a pretty good mix of customers right now. The key there is communicate with your fleet manager. I haven't said that yet, but I'm going to say that a bunch of times as we go on. Make sure to communicate with your fleet manager about what's going on. We are, from time to time, we'll fire a customer if that's what's going on. Because it doesn't do us any good either. I mean, we're not making any revenue as a company when that truck is sitting still, just like you're not making any money if it's sitting still. Yeah. So could it happen? Yes. It should have happened more than twice to the same guy? No, because that means you didn't tell anybody back at the office that this is what's going on over at this customer. Yeah. So got to rely on each other to make sure that it works. Yeah, good question there. All right, everybody good on that one?
As you go, this pay will increases or stays?
It could increase. Yeah, it could increase. So take me for example. If I do a crappy job, I probably won't get a raise. But if I do a good job, I'll probably get a raise. I'll talk about those here in just a second. But yeah, it should go up. It should. Yeah, I believe you're gonna sign on to do the best job that you can. All right.
So is that considered the regional one? Is that what you're?
This is no. There's a different regional fleet you'll see on the website too. This is something different. This is what I would call a true or pure dedicated route, where you're just going back and forth, back and forth.
Okay, and the dollar amounts you're giving us here are average first year rate.
At the 6 month mark.
6 months.
At 6 months. Yep. And yeah, thanks for clarifying that again. So let me give you some I guess advice. I don't know. I told you earlier, get it narrowed down to 3. Right. I think that's a pretty good goal, especially you guys have been for a couple weeks. By the end of today or tomorrow, hopefully real soon, you get that sucker narrowed down to 2 or 3. And then make your choice. Choose the best fit for you and your family, right? What does it take? How much home time do I need and want? How much pay do I need and want? And balance that out. And then when you give that company your word, stick it out for at least a year. It's going to take you 6 months to get this thing figured out anyway. And then the next 6 months, you can really start to evaluate, was this the best choice for me? So that's why I choose 6 months, because at that point, we're just getting it figured out. And I think that's a good way to say that average. If I gave you a 2-year average, it's probably not going to do you a lot of good. Because those are guys that made a choice and they found their home and all that kind of stuff. So I give you things that are really going to apply to you. Yeah, that's why I do it that way. Okay, anything else about money? Yeah, it's money? Okay. All right, tuition reimbursement up to $6,000. That starts from your first day as a solo driver when you're assigned your truck. So a couple of you paid out of pocket or have a loan or something like that. Yep, so up to $6,000. Gary told me, I think tuition was $39 something or other. So
$39.95.
So you should be covered. That's a good used car price, right? Yeah. So yep, that'll work out there. Anything else about tuition?
How often is it paid out?
Yep, it is paid out like this. It is paid out $100 for every 9,000 miles, and then at the 25 and 50,000 mile mark, an additional $250 on top of that. So you should get paid out. I don't know. We can do the math here, but you should get paid out in a couple of years. So and that gets added right to your check. Benefits: full medical, dental, and vision starts on the first of the month after 60 days of employment. Rail.jobs has the chart. You go on there and check out your needs: single, family, tobacco, no tobacco, 80-20, 90-10, whatever it is that you want. Find it on the matrix, and that'll be your weekly rate on that. All right, you get paid weekly, so that it doesn't come out weekly on that.
And that'll also show the deductibles and
Yep.
all the other stuff.
Yep, all on there.
Or if you call me, I'll recharge you.
Yep. Good to have Alice around. Let's see, benefits. 6 paid holidays. We just had one last week. Our paid holidays are paid at $60 a day, whether you're working or not. So for our drivers that were not working last Thursday, they got paid $60 extra on their check. If they were working, $60 came in addition to whatever their mileage pay was for that particular day. The one holiday that is guaranteed, should you so choose to make it that way, is Christmas. If you want to be home for Christmas, you will be home on Christmas. All right, the other days, we got freight to deliver. This is the trucking industry. You guys can do the same everywhere. People want their stuff, and we bring them their stuff. That's the way it is. Okay? All right, year vacation after a week vacation after 1 year, 2 weeks after 2 years. Again, my advice was stick it out for that first year. So if you're interested in what it is after 5, 10, 15 years, let Alice know. Let's just focus on the short term for now. Okay? But it escalates from there. All right, what else about benefits? Any other benefits that you want to know about or important to you filling out the application?
Is there fuel incentives? Savings?
Fuel, so we assign, everybody gets a fuel card that you use to make your fuel stops for your truck. Is that what you're asking about?
Unless you're owner operator.
What's that?
Those fuel bonuses, most of the time, that's only when you're owner operator.
Yeah, we do. So I didn't get into it yet, and I can after we're done here. After 6 months, you're enrolled in the Rail Your Choice paid plan, and that gives you the opportunity to get a quarterly raise, so raise every quarter. And some of that has to do with your fuel, your miles per gallon, your fuel efficiency. So if that's what you're asking about. Yeah. So either way, you're taking it. Okay. Anything else on benefits? Okay. If you think of something later, let me know. I'll come back to it. Okay. So training. We do our training in 3 different phases to bring you up to speed. Phase 1 is 8 days at a terminal. Paid $600 for those 8 days. So again, my goal here is to have you fill out the application. One of the reasons that I'm so adamant about that is Alice is going to hook you up with your training location or your orientation location and your orientation date. I fully recommend that we start orientations every Monday, and you choose the Monday right after you're done with school. Get that sucker going right away. Put your skills and your money to good use, and your time that you spend here to good use right away. All right, and that's for any carrier too. I mean, if you're not going to choose me, choose somebody else. Get going with them right away. Give yourself the best chance for success, so you don't forget something that you might learn to do. All right, okay. So 8 days, $600. Alice is going to hook you up with Marshfield, Appleton. Or if you're flatbed, she'll send you down to Gary, and you do flatbed. Our securement school is down there in Gary, Indiana. All right, so that's how that works. Any questions on that part?
On that 8 days, where do you stay?
Yeah, excellent question. We will provide your transportation to that location should you choose. We'll get your rental car over to Marshfield, Appleton, or down to Gary, and we'll have you stay in a hotel. We pay for the hotel. We pay for your free meals every day too. So you're fully taken care of for those 8 days. Plus you're getting paid at the end. Okay. Yeah, good question.
Pay to work direct deposit or
Yep.
next card?
Direct deposit, or we'll issue a debit card. So if you don't want to use your bank account, we'll give you a debit card. You decide how to allocate those funds. Some people will send a portion of it back home to somebody else's bank account, or whatever. You decide that, but that's how it works. Good one there. Okay, so phase 2 is our over-the-road training. Yay? All right, so I got a feeling this guy here knows about it. What have you guys heard about over-the-road training? How does that work with some other carriers you might have already talked to or researched?
You go with the trainer. He's supposed to be in the passenger seat, watching you, helping you, coaching you, showing you e-logs if you guys use the Qualcomm, Vital logs, whichever ones you use, or how to operate paper logs, how to make sure you know how to secure all your loads to DOT stations and everything.
Good. Yeah, so one word that stuck in my mind that he said was supposed to be in the front seat with you. What else might there be? Go ahead. Yeah, no, this is an open forum here. Let's talk about it, because I know some stuff too. Where else could that trainer be?
In the sleeper.
In the sleeper? Yeah, could be. What about length of the over the road, or that portion of the training? What have you heard about that?
Could also be driving and showing you stuff.
Could be. How long does some of the other recruiters you heard? How long does their over the road last? You remember?
Varies on the ride.
Okay.
It's normally between a week to 4 weeks.
Yeah, a week to 4 weeks. Yeah. All right, guys. So here's my industry advice for you. And I'll start with rail. Up to 13 days. Okay. So here's what you want to make sure that you ask the recruiters when you're getting your final 3 sorted out in front of you. I think this is really a big thing here. It's as big as pay or home time. It's how you're going to be trained. Because the pay or home time may not matter if you didn't get trained right, and you end up quitting anyway, right? So I think this is that first obstacle you got to get through on the final three. So here's how training works sometimes at some other companies, and here's why it's so important that you ask and get it in writing as to how it works, all right? So for those companies that are out there that are talking about 4 or 6 or 8 weeks, here's how they're doing it. They're team driving, and that's just the fact of it. That's why it takes so long. And by the way, as a team driver, welcome to the team. You're driving at night. You're driving at 2 in the morning, 4 in the morning. You're driving that overnight shift. Thanks, teammate. All right, everybody here is awake right now, but that won't be the case if that's the company that you go to. All right, you'll be sleeping during the day. Your trainer's driving, and then at night you'll be driving. I mean, they'll try to catch some Z's during the daytime. But guess what? Our delivery appointment's at noon today. Now you got to get up. So you got to learn about that stuff too. Now you're up at the loading dock for a couple hours, and then good luck getting back to sleep. And now you got to come up and drive again at 9 o'clock tonight and go through the night driving like that. Some companies, that's just the way that they prefer to have their revenue stream go. They need that truck rolling all the time to supplement the newbie and to make sure that the truck's not bogged down during the day. That's how they do it. If that's what you want to do, that's cool. Sign up. I'll see you at the truck stop and we'll say hi. All right. If that's not what you want to do, make sure to ask your recruiter, find out what's going on. Here's how Rail and a few other companies do it. It's up to 13 days. It's performance-based. That trainer is sitting in the front of the truck with you. They're sitting in the passenger seat, and they're coaching, training, guiding, making sure that you got it. Your hands are on the wheel from the time that truck starts rolling until the time that truck stops rolling on that given day. All right? So you're getting all the training, and they're doing all the training with you. All right? So if that's important to you, I would recommend Rail Transport. If that's important to you, ask your recruiter, how is it going to be? And I also put it in writing for you. She'll write it down if that's how it's going to be.
Do you guys use e-logs?
Yep, so we use e-logs, we use Qualcomm in the truck, all that kind of stuff. So I didn't see the log book. Oh, here we go. All right, so here's really how the e-log works. You guys done a log sheet yet, right? So there's 4 lines, and in the truck there's 4 buttons, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get in the truck, you push whatever button it is that you're doing. You get out of the truck, you push that other button. Now I'm off duty, now I'm on duty, right? All that stuff. Very simple. It does all the math for you. Each time you push a button, it's going to tell you how many hours you have left to drive, how many hours you have on your total clock. It's going to give you everything you need to know. All right. So if that's important to you, make sure where you're going to go has got that option. All right. And I think that's a pretty sweet deal. And by the way, it's going to be law next year. So where you want to go doesn't have it yet. They may be out of business by the time that law comes around next year.
Is that even for owner operator?
It's for everybody.
No, electronic logs.
That would be law by June or July of next year. No, right. Yeah, I was at a school down in Chicago last week, and somebody asked me that very question. And he said, "Well, it doesn't matter because I'm going to be driving for my brother anyway." I said, "Oh, is that right?" I said, "How many logbooks do you have in the truck?" And he said, "So that's not cool. You'll be out of this industry before you know it if that's what happens." Okay. So over-the-road training is up to 13 days. It's performance-based. When you and the trainer look each other in the eye and you say you got it, you're done. All right? Over-the-road will be done at that point. Right now, our company average is 8 days, but if it takes all 13, that's okay. All right? And it's okay because we're going to pay you $90 a day while you're out there doing it. Okay? So 8 days, 13 days, 21 days. So we got 3 weeks from start to finish in this training program. $1,770. That's your pay for those 3 weeks. Shouldn't take all 13 days. And again, that's okay if you do. So, anybody got any bills to pay? You got any past due bills? People checking you out, running you down, right? Let's go get paid. Let's get things in order and get our financial house put back together again. Okay? That's the whole idea here. Okay. So, any questions on those 21 days? Okay, these are 21 consecutive days. They should be gone. All right, so just to keep that in mind. I also remind you that again before you come to orientation. Should give you a list of stuff to pack and bring with you and all that kind of thing. Okay, and then after that, you're going home for a few days. You've been gone for 3 weeks, and you'll be assigned your truck. You may even get your first load, and you'll come back home. So maybe you'll park it over in South St. Paul, or you'll park it at a truck stop at Walmart, or right in your front lawn if you got space for it. Okay, and you take your home time, 4 to 5 days at home.
So you can park it at your house if you have room?
If you've got room. Yep. Okay, and then after that, you're into phase 3. But at this point, you're in your assigned truck. You're doing the job that you signed up to do. The phase 3 is just this. It's a fleet manager that has some extra time to spend on you because you're new drivers. You're going to need some extra help. You might miss an exit. You might miss a turn. You might just have a question. You might just want to talk to somebody. All right, it could happen. It does happen. All right. And so they're there. They'll manage about 12 to 16 people, whereas a mainstream fleet manager will manage anywhere from 40 to 50. Okay, so after you got it, after things are clicking along, they'll shift you over to your regular fleet manager, but they're going to take extra care of you during this time.
Do you guys do a hands-free reimbursement?
Like for a Bluetooth or something? No, but your tax, if you do when you do your taxes, include that in there. If you're in a situation where you can put that as an adjustment or write-off, that's what you can do. So, okay, any questions on that? It's pretty simple. Again, guys, make sure you know what you're getting into. Ask your recruiter all these questions. It's important to you. It's your livelihood. It's why you're sitting here right now. Okay. I think I had free choice on that. I think we might be done with that one. All right, so there's training. We can come back to it again if you think of something else. So career path, we have an apprenticeship program that works like this. It's a 2-year program. After the first 6 months, you'll be doing what you signed up to do. After that, you'll start to be assigned some special classes and some coursework. It's going to make you a better driver. At the 1-year mark, we're going to have you come in. You're going to train to be a driver trainer. Whether you want to be a trainer or not, it's going to make you a better driver. All right, so that's going to work out. And then at the end of that 2-year program, you're going to have a few options. If you want to be a fleet manager, you want to do something in the office, be a customer service rep, or whatever it is that you want to do, we can help guide you over to Marshville, Wisconsin, again, home to the world's largest round barn, or any of our other terminals, and you can do that. You could be a trainer if that's what you want to do. They make about an extra 10 grand a year, so that could be something you want to do. Or you can just you keep driving. That's your home. That's what you want to do. You keep driving. For our military guys, during those 2 years, if you have any GI or post 9/11 benefits left, you can draw your stipend that whole time for all 24 months. All right, so you get paid and then get paid again with your GI money. Okay, so that's cool. We're the only company that has a 2-year. You'll find some 1 years and some 18 months. So if that's a big deal to you, and your stipend, that might be something you want to balance out at the end when you're choosing between your 3. Okay, so career path, any other questions on that? Yeah, lots of opportunities. For us, let me think here. Now that we've reorganized some things, Alice, I think most of our field recruiters were drivers,
Yes.
if not all. Let me think it through in my mind. Everybody except for Debbie. Yeah, Debbie did drive. But we got all kinds of folks that were drivers and are now doing something else, including in my department. Definitely a good thing. Okay, so home time. So national, I made a little note over there. Yep, 11-3. I guess we'll call it, dedicated regional. That's a good one there. Okay. I'm going to write down 5-2 on that. There is, I'll tell you one more thing, just for full transparency and honesty. Could there be a time where your Friday delivery, something happened, weather, something like that happened, and you had to deliver the next morning? Yeah, that could happen from time to time. Our goal is 5-2. Every now and then it could be a 5.5 and a 1.5. All right, it's not our goal to make that happen. Sometimes it's out of our control. Okay, all right. And then we've got these all run. So let me kind of put here. This is your truck. Okay. We also do a slip seat type operation. That's where you're sharing a truck with other guys or other people, and that can be your choice if that's what you want. We've got some exotic home time options as far as that's concerned. Okay. And that's all run out of that South St. Paul yard. All right. So if you don't want it, and somebody else might though. The run 14 home for 7, 7-4, 7-3, or the part-time schedule 7-7. That's where you're working 26 weeks a year, and it's truly part-time. But that may be the best option for somebody too. Okay. So you'll share the truck with 2 other people, and you'll just rotate through like that. All right. The cool thing about that is you plan your calendar for the whole rest of the year or next year and the year after, because it's always going to rotate exactly on that dime. Because while you're at home, you're waiting for the next guy to come back and get out, so it happens like clockwork. Okay, so there's home time. Pick what works for you. Again, your whole trick here is to find the best balance between pay and home time. So find it and go after it.
How's your on-site maintenance, or roadside maintenance?
Yeah, so we have a national network of roadside vendors. Something happens, we'll get somebody sent out to you right away. If after 2 hours something is still wrong, you're eligible then for breakdown pay. So that can happen. All of our machines, our equipment, tractors, trailers are expertly maintained on a regular schedule throughout our 7 terminals. We've got very good
I have a
record with that. Yeah.
all those numbers that you write down, 11,352,
Yeah.
47 I was seeing, I don't get it, what does that mean? Oh,
Those are, okay.
Days on to
yeah.
days off.
So you're gonna drive for 11 days, and then you come home for 3. That's our national schedule. And then the dedicated, and then some of those other ones down there. Yeah, yep, thank you. Thank you for that one there. So that's how that works. Real quick on the equipment, we're all 2012 and newer, all the way up to 2015s. There are many people being assigned 2015s as we speak. It's the next truck up, next man up. That's how it works.
What's your primary choice of tractor?
It's Freightliners and Internationals. Those are the 2 that we run.
Cascadia Freightliner,
The Cascadia and then the ProStar is the other one.
so that's the 9 speeds.
10. All 10-speed transmissions. Yep, all 10-speed transmissions. Okay? As with many other things that I mentioned to you, you get assigned your truck. Something may not be working out or whatever it is, communicate with your fleet manager. I've seen before where people are leaving the company and I ask, well, what happened? Oh, I didn't like my truck. All right, well, who did you tell about that? Nobody. All right, tell somebody and we'll get it fixed for you. All right, that's the whole thing. Same thing with these fleet choices. All right, you decide, hey, flatbed's going to be great. I'm going to do Monday through Friday, and this is going to be awesome. And 2 weeks into it, this sucks. All right, tell somebody. The next time you come out of your home time, you'll be in your new fleet. Go drive van, or maybe you do a summer-winter type rotation. During the winter, you drive the van or the reefer. During the summer, you do the flatbed. It's up to you, but tell somebody, and we'll help you get there. All right, and it usually happens that next time you come out of the house. Okay, so those fleet choices and home time there. I think I've covered the vets there. All right. Anything else? I've got one more thing, but anything else that you guys want to talk about or going deeper?
Passengers.
Yeah. So your spouse or child 10 years of age or older, after 6 months of safe driving, they can ride with you. It's $15 per month for the insurance. That's for you to pay. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay. I'm saving the best for last here. Gonna liquefy here. All right, so I mentioned earlier that if I said I'd pay everybody here $10 a mile, we'd all go out the door, we'd all show up for orientation, everything would be great, until you find out that you got 10 miles a week. All right, so you take your $100 and you go home and you probably try to punch for your nose. Okay? So here's what you got to ask your other recruiters, is how are the miles calculated? It doesn't matter, guys, what the cent per mile or the dollar per mile is, if you don't know how they're going to calculate the miles, or you don't know how it's going to work. Right? You could fall into a trap like that. You're following somebody out the door for this big cent per mile thing that they're talking about. Okay? So here's the trick, and I'll tell you how it works. Okay? We have Minneapolis here. We'll put Green Bay over here. We'll put Detroit over there. Okay? A lot of times, especially being in the Midwest here, you get to be familiar with a lot of these places, right? Okay? So guys that have been here, or even haven't been here, if you don't have freight, and your carrier tells you, your company tells you to go from Minneapolis to Green Bay, what's it called if you don't have any freight?
Deadhead.
Deadhead, yeah, all right. What about if you don't have a trailer? What's that called? Bobtail, right. Okay, so what are you hearing from the other companies if that's what has to happen? If you got no freight or no trailer, what do you get paid from Minneapolis to Green Bay?
Some places it's 0.
Some it's 0?
Places they actually have that miles or Bobtail miles.
Yeah.
It's way less.
Like a separate charge or a separate rate or something like that, okay? Ask your recruiter. You guys got to know this, all right? Because from Minneapolis to Green Bay, are you going to be any less safe?
No.
You're going to be any less professional? Right? You're going to go driving down the highway like this, not looking at something?
Maybe.
Probably not. All right? So why should you get paid less if you're not going to be any less of a driver? All right? Ask yourselves that. You guys got to come to an answer on that. And I think you do, right? But make sure your recruiter knows that you're thinking about that, and make sure that you know what you're going to get paid. All right, if you're not going to be any less of a driver going from here to here, don't take any less pay. All right, don't do it. That's your paycheck. That's your paycheck. Rail transport, same pay, empty or loaded. Same pay, trailer or no trailer. All right. And again, I'll draw our per mile chart up here when I'm done. If anybody wants to stick around and look at that, you can take pictures of it. It's also on the website, and Alice will back it up in writing too. Okay? It's the same pay, and make sure when you're getting down to that final 2 or 3 that you got same pay. If it's something else, I think you may be making a mistake. Okay? So that's that. All right. So what about the way that they calculate the miles? Right? Shouldn't a mile just be a mile? Right? Any idea how some other companies are paying? How they calculate how many miles you just went?
Shortest route or most practical route?
Yeah, right. So I'm going to write that one word up here right now. Practical. Okay? So ask your recruiter how they pay. All right? And if they're not talking about practical, they're probably talking about this. HHG, zip miles, book miles, air miles, mover's guide. Any others? Am I missing something there? You get a lot of that, right? Heard about it?
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit? Okay. All right, let me mention all kinds of other names. If the word practical doesn't come out of their mouth, all right, my advice is hang up the phone and kick them out of here, all right? Because what are you worth? Are you worth the whole thing or just part of it? All right? So for those other things that they're talking about, they're paying you in a straight line from Green Bay to Detroit. They're paying you in a straight line all the way across there. In this industry, the difference between practical and something else is about 15%. So again, if you're not half a driver, you're not 15% less of a driver either. All right? You're going to be the best professional driver that you can be the whole time. The whole time, whether you're empty or with a trailer, or you're driving all the way around the lake, like we're going to dispatch you to. All right? So rail transport pays practical miles, and some other companies do too. Find out who they are. Make sure that's who you're signing up with. Okay? Practical miles, we're going to pay you step by step, turn by turn, the exact route we tell you to go on. All right, stay on the route, you get paid. It's the whole thing. The whole thing. All right, so make sure that you're asking about this stuff because it matters. All right, it's your money. You want to get paid on Thursday for the full thing, not part of it.
So you don't want us to work us
I don't think you'd make it. I don't think you'd make it. Okay? All right, guys. So it's practical. Make sure that you're finding that stuff out too. Okay? I think that makes a big difference. All right, any questions about that? How that works? I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. You'd be surprised. You'll hear a lot of other words about it. And make sure that you're able to figure out what those words mean and then get it in writing when it happens. A lot of companies talk about up to or including or most times or all these other fancy words. Make sure that they're talking about practical and make sure they're talking about same pay. When you're on the dispatch for them. Okay. All right. So there's that. That's all I got, guys. If you have any other questions, now is the time. Or you can call Alice anytime. You can call me anytime.
Can we get all that information online?
Yeah. Rail.jobs right here. Rail.jobs. That's the place to get it. Everything I talked about is on the website. Yep. If anybody wants to stick around, I'll do that. I'll do the cent per mile chart. I'll do that right now. Okay. All right. The cent per mile gets real sticky for a lot of folks. That's why I leave it out and I give you those averages and all that kind of thing.
It's on the website, right?
Yep. Here's how it works. Yeah, and a lot of this goes over people's heads. You get the kinds of numbers flying around and all that kind of stuff. All right, so 0 months experience, so that'll be on day 1 of phase 3 after you come to orientation. 0 months experience on van, this is for national, by the way, this is 11-3, national paycheck, okay? Refrigerated starts 34, flatbed starts 35, all right? Guaranteed pay raise, all right? There aren't any other guarantees but these, all right? At rental transport, you're gonna get a guaranteed pay raise at 3 and at 6 months. In this industry, a penny is worth about $1,000 a year. An average driver is gonna get 115,000 miles in the course of the year. It's gonna equal out to be about $1,000, all right? So when you calculate it through those things, that's what you should be figuring on. At the 3-month mark, you're gonna get a guaranteed pay raise. Alice, we'll talk about this here in just a minute. It's something I forgot to tell you about earlier. Gonna get a guaranteed 4-cent increase. You're gonna get a guaranteed $4,000 raise, depending on that trailer type that you're pulling. That's at 3 months, all right? And then at 6 months, a 2-cent. Okay, so those are guarantees. And again, that was kind of a, if anybody knows anything about movies, I was kind of foreshadowing in the beginning there. Make sure you stay at that company for a year. There's a lot of us that do some things like this, okay? So make sure you find out and all that kind of stuff. But there's how the pay chart works. And again, that's for national. And then after that, then you're into the quarterly program, where you're eligible for a raise each quarter. And that's dependent on the job that you're doing. So dependent on stuff like being safe, going somewhere on time, having your miles per gallon, meeting the goals for that kind of stuff. You do that, you do what you're signed up to do, you'll get the quarterly raise.
And typically, how much is that?
It's anywhere from a half a penny to a penny and a half, so I just count on a penny.
Per quarter.
Just per quarter. Yep.
Okay, and is there a limit?
Yep, there is a max. Alice and I were just debating on this earlier. And I didn't get an answer before I came in here. I meant to. There is a maximum. Send to Alice an email, and she'll email you back with the maximum. I don't want to give you something that might be mistaken on. It's definitely in the 50s. It's in the 50-cent range for most of those.
Okay.
So, take about 2.5 years to get to the maximum. Other carriers that are doing it annually, that's a 10, 12, 14-year deal. You come here and do the job you sign up to do, you get a company max in 2.5 years. So I guess we could extrapolate that out and just take it from there, but I don't want to. I want to make sure that we're accurate.
Okay.
Okay, so that's how the pay chart works.
That's not very difficult.
What's that?
That's not very difficult.
No, okay. Did it answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I do
Okay.
have a question.
Yeah.
I live about 130 miles northwest of Minneapolis.
Mhm.
At the truck yard in St. Paul, am I able to take my truck?
Yes.
Yep. Take the truck home. That's what I would do. That's a long
It's
drive.
a long drive, so
Um,
you'd want to do that. Set something up